Laced up clean, yeah, the vibe feels nice. Fuck you, Tony, said we wouldn't fly. Now we running this mile high.
Yo, 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 Merry fucking Christmas. Welcome back. Shoes and Brews, the podcast, episode 6, a special Christmas edition. As always, joining me, Ash. How you going, buddy?
Good, mate. Merry Christmas. The vibes are strong. The silly season is well and truly upon us.
Yeah.
It's all lots going on. So good time of year. It's a bit infectious and tough to say no to a couple of beers at this time of year. So yeah, ready to rip in. How you going?
Yeah, mate. I'm doing really well. The Christmas vibe probably has a different feel for me. In retail for 30 plus years, and I think I'm having the Boxing Day off this year, so it's probably the first time I've had Boxing Day off for about 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's a very different vibe for me. So maybe in a few years when I'm retired, I can really, truly enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I'm on the other end with 2 young kids, and it's been Christmas for about a month around here already. So it'll be nice once Christmas arrives, and then we get the joys of real Christmas, which is Boxing Day for the adults. So
yeah. What cricket and
cricket and cans. Yeah. So first beers and the first balls for a bit of a tradition. So yeah. Anyway.
Oh, what? 11 o'clock? Is that what time?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, Boxing Day. There's no rules, I reckon.
I got a few Christmas stories like that, but
what are we drinking?
So, mate, I'm on the. I think I had this on the other week. Ben spoke. We got the Barley Griffin, the Canberra Pale Ale. So yeah,
lovely. I'm going for the single fin. Just a good summer beer. Like, it's super easy to drink. I think it's WA beer, but yeah. So it's super easy to throw down. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. Anyway, fuck you, Tony. Cheers.
Cheers.
So what we've got planned is we're gonna run through our individual top 5 shoes and also top 5 beers for 2025. I was thinking about it before I came on and going, I don't want everyone emailing me, message me, telling me, oh, that one's shit, this one's shit. This is my opinion. I don't care what anyone else says, right?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, mate. I was thinking about it before we came on, and maybe before we get into the fun, I just thought we should acknowledge that it's been a pretty tough week for some people around Australia, especially with what's been happening in Bondi. So for anyone out there who's listening, we're thinking of you, especially this time of year. It can be tough, so we're going to have a bit of fun and talk about, to your point, Scotty, what our favorite shoes and beers are. They're not going to be unanimous by any chance. There might be some similarities, but feel free to come at us if you've got some different opinions, which I'm sure there will be as we get through it. So anyway, it'll be fun, bit of fun.
Well, that's probably a good idea too. If they've got differing opinions, send them to us. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, we'd love to hear and battle it out in the comments or something. So how good.
Before we kick off, we always talk about some sport. What's other than the cricket? Has anything else been catching your eye?
Cricket, really. Just saw Alex Carey turned up just before we kicked this off, which is nice. So Big Bash is back, which sort of feels like the unofficial start to summer, or like there's late afternoons and all that fun vibe. But Big Bash, like, it's one of those things you can just throw on in the background. You don't have to watch it ball to ball, but it's good when someone just gets on an absolute heater. I loosely used to say that I go for the Stars back when Warney was playing years ago, but then they just stunk it up big time. And since moving back to Canberra, I think I've got to say the Thunder are my team. They've got a good combo of players. They play it in the right way, and they play a few games here. So Big Bash is back. Watched a bit of EPL here and there, a few bits and pieces, but nothing crazy other than the cricket, mate. What about you? Okay.
Well, mate, I had the laziest Sunday ever 2 Sundays ago. Had our Christmas party on the Saturday night. I drove, so I was fresh on Sunday, but literally, I think the golf kicked off at 11:30.
Oh, golf, yeah.
I sat on the couch until 3. And I can't remember the last time I did this, but sat on the couch. I watched 3.5 hours of golf. A mate came over, I said, come over and have a hit on the golf sim. So we played 9 holes on the golf sim while we were flicking between the cricket and the golf. But the golf was unreal. There's just Rory has just brought a different vibe to the whole tournament, I suppose. And whether he won or lost, it was the number of people that he brings in. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did watch a bit of it. It was pretty massive. Some of the crowds the galleries that were following him, and even then following that to see Leishman, I think in the last week get a win as well was nice. So, is the season for golf too? How good. That was a bit like my Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was, a couple of weeks ago when Travis had just decided to absolutely tee off. It was just like I lock in on the couch for a few hours, and you just remember where you are some of those times, and like Travis Head goes bananas. Yeah, I remember where I was or when I was playing. So sometimes you need it, mate, especially after a big year and a big Christmas party and stuff. So well deserved. Yeah.
No, it was. I said it was a pretty cool thing, but it probably gets a little bit harder with the young kids, but mine are a little bit older, so I can get away with it every now and then. But mate, let's talk about that Mo. Mate, November finished like 17 days ago.
Oh, mate, it's my whole identity, don't you know? Anyone who is listening to this that has ever done November with me knows that I'm very passionate about the rules, which is you have to be clean shaven on the 1st of November. So
100%.
People have tried every other way to try and skirt the rules or just give it a trim or whatever. So it's always clean shaven. But then at the end of November, I always used to just shave it off. Never really thought 2 ways about it. Bang, off would go and move on with my life. But in the last couple of years, I've just sort of held on to it. And I think initially it started as just to see how long I could hold on to it for before I really got told to get rid of it. And then last year I held it, I reckon, until about Feb or March. But last year I particularly held it because I just realised last year just some of the convos that it created and started and whatever. And then it just sort of kept rolling and rolling and rolling. It got too far gone. But this year just gone, when I went to Movember headquarters, I think it was the first time I've been there without a moustache. And one of the guys came up to me and said, like they were doing a whole bunch of content and bits and pieces. And he's like, oh, you got a great mate, where is it? And I was like, I felt like a kid out of place. I was like, oh no, where's my moustache? Oh. So I was like, mini identity crisis. Not really, but so anyway, there's a fair chance by the time of next chat it'll be gone, or there's every chance that come November 1 next year it'll still be here. So anyway, we'll see how we go.
Well, November 1 it gets shaved off to start again.
Yeah, probably. I'd love to see it. I've never actually kept it for the whole year just to see what it looks like, but we'll see how we go. So anyway, push the boundaries with it.
Yeah, mate, I'm getting too old. It's a lot of whites and gingers in there as well.
Well, you get to this point where it starts to get a bit annoying where like I'm just like trimming around it sort of thing, but then it gets a bit hot and itchy and a bit so it would be easy going, but then it takes so much effort to grow it back again, and it's like socially acceptable in the month of November to grow them. Most of the other time it's a bit like, what are you doing there with your face, mate? So anyway, we'll keep it rolling through the new year. So.
Too funny. Too funny, mate. First of December was straight off for me.
Well, that's most
good on you.
Straight off. So anyway.
Yeah,
but we raised nearly $26,000 for November our team this year, so massive.
That's unreal.
So it's all for a good cause. So anyway.
Yeah. So do you see how long your wife keeps whinging about it?
Well, last year it was the kids that voted it off. We were driving home and there was a car vote that happened and I lost 3-1. So as I say, mate, it could be any day I get someone to zip it off and it'll come off. So it's fine. No, I'm not that precious about it. So
too good. All right, mate. Let's get into it, eh? So got a slide here, and we did this individually, and I've chucked it all together. So we're gonna start with our top 5 shoes for 2025, and we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
Any stories you have behind them and things like that, but let's kick it off.
Yeah.
So number 5.
Lead us off, Scotty.
Yeah, mate. I've got the Mizuno Neo Vista. So when this shoe came out, oh God, I'm going to say 18 months. I saw it at a conference 2 years ago, and I tried it at the time in our store. I was probably out of Mizuno. I was like, oh, I'm struggling here to get the sell through I want. There's so many good products. This shoe changed my mindset with them. I put it on and I went, mate, this is, and we always vote for shoe of the conference. This was shoe of the conference that year. Put it in as well as some other Mizuno, and it's probably one of the few shoes where I've gone back for 2 or 3 pairs of exactly the same, like different colors, but exactly the same shoe. Yeah. I just get access to so many shoes. I just go, I'll just try something different. But I went back for the 3 pairs I had of this shoe. So that's my number 5.
They're just killing it at the moment, Mizuno, aren't they? And like also elite colorways and some of their recent drops as well. So yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, well, the one I put up there is the Hanabi pack, which was part of their Ikeden race pack in Japan. So they did about 4 or 5 shoes in the same color. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it. I went for my criteria was shoes that I've worn this year. So there's obviously a lot of shoes you see and touch and wear a lot of shoes. I see far too many shoes than I could possibly wear. Well, maybe not possibly wear, but I see that many shoes over my socials. So my criteria was shoes that I wore, and this shoe. So I saw the Sonic Blast on the socials, like drop, and the colorway sort of looked what it did. And then when you mentioned, we're going to wear it for the podcast, I was like, oh, this is sick, something different. And the first few runs, it was genuinely something different to what I thought it would be. We obviously went into detail with Rogues about it, but before I'd ever worn it, I'd actually seen like a few different mixed reviews, so just online. So you sort of take them for what they were. But when I went for my first run, I was like, oh, this is a cool shoe. Love the colorway. I hadn't really, and we'll get to it a bit, I hadn't really worn carbon shoes much. And these haven't got carbon, but they've got the composite plate in it. And they were a nice little surprise. And I just think they look sick as well. So, they come in at number 5 for me.
Yeah, nice. All right, number 4.
Mate, yes. What do you got, Scotty?
Mate, I got the Hoka Arahi 8. Hoka. Now, I have it Hoka. Depends where you're from. Tomato. With my one, look, with all the shoes, because I haven't done any racing or real fast running this year. It's all been some slower stuff, and so my selection's a little bit different to probably what it would be in the past. But this shoe updated from the 7. Like, mate, I've been wearing it to work. I actually just threw them out the other day because they looked absolutely flogged. And I've been wearing it to work every day, and just the cushioning, it's still got a little bit of stability. The way they've done the H-frame, the cushioning was unbelievable. So just for a workhorse, mate, I really loved it. So I didn't think that I'd ever have an Arahi in here, but mate, that was a killer shoe.
Well, it almost took number 5 for me. It was honestly between that and the Sonic Blast. So, and I flipped and flopped a few times, but it is a great shoe. I really enjoyed it. As somebody who's wearing Hoka, however you want to say it, for a long time, I was really surprised with it. So, good shoe. I went for the Evo SL. The Evo SL is getting absolutely plastered everywhere. It was one of the shoes of the year, or goats, and all of that sort of fun stuff. I was actually really slow to the party in buying a pair, and when they rocked up, I was like, I knew they were going to be light, but genuinely was like, holy shit, these are so light. What I really liked about them the most when I first put them on, like, nice little lacing situation thing going on, but I felt like I had heaps of room in the toe box. And then my first one, I went just out on the streets and I did a few tready runs that week, and they were just elite. Like, nice, soft. They can do everything. They can go as slow as you want, as fast as you want. They look cool. They come in all these sick colorways now. Honestly, like, if you were starting running today and you needed to buy a pair of shoes, this would be in probably one of the top few that I'd pick, I reckon. So, yeah, doesn't probably need any more plaudits. I think it's got plenty going on around the world.
Yeah.
I love it. So,
it's one shoe that I've had a play with, but I've never worn. I haven't. They're hitting our stores in the next sort of month or two. So I haven't really got to have a good test of it. So it'd be interesting to see all the.
Yeah,
all
it's
that
got
hype.
like the light strike pro foam through it, and yeah, again, just feels super cloudy, but can also pick up and go. It's I reckon I can do it all. So yeah, love it.
Unreal. All right, let's go. Number 3. Oh, look at the colours. I actually put the women's colour in, but
Yeah,
it's
mate,
actually it's a royal blue in the men's. But anyway,
they've got so many
Vomero,
colorways in it. Yeah.
Oh, they do. But Vomero Plus, if you've ever put Pegasus on, which feels like quite firm and hard, responsive underfoot, Vomero has a bit more cushion. But the Vomero Plus, just as it suggests, plus more under the foot, it's just got a really soft, spongy feel. I'm yet to try the premium, so I'm really keen to try the Vomero premium. That was getting a lot of airtime during the Sydney Marathon, so that'd be a one to try next year. But Vomero Plus has been an unreal cushion shoe, similar vein to probably one of the ones that will come up a bit later for me anyway.
Yeah. Oh man, I saw the Vomero Plus in the premiums again. One of those shoes that was sort of put on blast everywhere, and I haven't tried it, but yeah, keen to try. It looks like a shoe that you can do, probably your slower, easier stuff in, but they just make it look so cool too. And Nike sort of re-entered the game in that bigger max cushion sort of vibe. So, I love the similar colors here. I went for this was a pull at the heartstrings as much as it was the shoe. So I've got that Adios Pro 4, which was really like I own a few pairs of carbon shoes, but if I'm honest, I never really wore them. Like I've worn them once or twice here and there, but never really had a proper crack. And so in doing a proper block before Sydney Mara, I bought a pair of these. And the first run I went from, I think it was about a 30 or 35K, just one of my first long runs to make, or one of my long runs, sorry, not my first one of my long runs in my block just to make sure they felt good before race day. And I remember getting home and I was like, holy shit, that felt so good. My legs recovered so nice. I was like, yeah, cool, we're on here. And I don't always sign up to the fact that, pardon me, that the gear helps you get your PB or whatever. Like it obviously makes you feel good and look good and all that fun stuff. So mentally it might help, but wore these for Sydney Marathon and got a marathon PB. So they have to be in the lineup for me.
I want you to sign it and just put a little time on it for you,
and mount it on the wall or something.
And mount it on the wall.
My feet held up far better than I expected. Like they actually, when you hold them, the material feels and like the heel cup piece feels really thin. And I was a bit worried, like I was gonna over time it would slice up my ankles or whatever. But honestly, like no impact at all. So and I got them in this color, which I thought was probably the best color. And they've got heaps out now. They're pretty much like one of the shoes that I think Hong Kong's just released a colorway in them as well. So yeah, good shoe. When they help you run a PB, they've got to be in the lineup, I reckon. So
yeah. And look, the Pro 5s come out August. I've seen it August, I think, next year, which will be really interesting because they're it's been around for a while. Adidas, if they find and they've done it with the Evo SL, if they find something that's been on fire, they are very slow to update it. So it'll be interesting with the Pro 5s coming out.
Yeah. Well, I remember the night before Sydney Mara, because I had these and I had another pair of shoes. And I went and just did a few sort of strides. That's an exaggeration. I did some slow movement up this side strip beside where I was staying, just for like a final confidence check. And I remember putting them on again because I'd really only worn them maybe 2 or 3 times. And I was like, as soon as I put them on again, I'm like, went down the lift in the hotel and went for a little jog. I was like, oh shit, yeah, it's got to be these. So anyway, they're very good. I enjoy them a lot. So what about number 2? What are we rolling into?
Oh, stop it. Oh, look, what could this shoe is another one of those shoes where I just went, it was the shoe of the conference that time as well. Probably the only reason that it's not number 1 for me is just to do that. It wasn't quite wide enough through the forefoot. So I just would like in the standard width, which is the ones we had. I had a pair of wide ones that I wore for work as well. But the standard fit was just that little bit narrow. Outside of that, this shoe was, mate, unreal.
Oh, no, it's like you took the words out of my mouth. I bloody love this shoe. Like, so hot tip, I did have this number 1 and then had to adjust it. But again, it's one of those shoes that pulls at the heartstrings a bit because I did so many Ks in it. But I totally agree, Scotty. The last one I have now done in these was the Ultraman. Well, the first part of the Ultraman I ran in these. And it wasn't until probably that run that I realised, they're a bit tight across the forefoot, but still like perfect. Like just an absolute workhorse shoe that can do everything. Like couldn't fault it. Like I actually was thinking about when I was thinking about doing the Ultraman and finishing, genuinely it was like one of those, you know, you have those stupid training thoughts of, you know, what food you're going to eat or where you're going to go and have a beer or whatever. I pictured in my head that I was definitely going to be doing a shoe out of one of these, but yeah, it's an elite shoe. Like I'd never worn a Mizuno shoe before we did it for the pod, and like sign me up there. Yeah, they're doing great stuff if it's like this. So no, elite shoe.
Well, you're really going to test out the width and the size of the toe box when you get as far in as the 84K. So just that little bit wider would have been really, really nice. There's a lot of people that are very disappointed that you didn't do a shoey too.
Well, never say never. There might find a time or reason soon enough.
The next minute we're taking the podcast outside.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in myself, so I feel like I've got to redeem it for those who are listening. So anyway,
all right, number 1. There you go. Look, it's that's the new color. I think I've got the purpley pair with a bit of coral. But this shoe, we got it into store in December last year, and I hadn't had the shoe before in the store, and we'd sold out in 2 weeks. Like every pair was gone. It's one of those shoes where, as I said, I haven't been doing a lot of fast work, but look, for long run, easy run, it sort of fits all those bills. It's been an unbelievable shoe.
Yeah, mate. So I bought a pair, the Paris colorway, which I still to this day don't know how I jagged it when the Olympics were on. You know how every Olympics there's like, I think it was Rio back in the day that had those purple and yellow Nikes, and everyone was like, "Oh, these are sick! I need to buy a pair." Well, everyone was wearing Asics at Paris, and I was like, really wanted to try the Super Blast because I'd never owned the previous version, and somehow jagged a pair online. Came a couple of days later, went for a first couple of runs, and I was like, "These are the best thing ever." I realised I've now done 4 marathons in the same pair, so it might be time to retire those and get this colorway because I'm like a dead keen on this green Necodine colorway from Asics. But man, this shoe just does everything. Like it, to your point, like those easy stuff, long stuff. You can pick it up if you want to. They look cool. They've just, as I said, just nailed the look and the feel. The top half's sort of got that slightly see-through vibe going on, but then just a kick-ass bit of foam underfoot. So, I don't know what else to say about the shit. So, yeah, it's a ripper.
Actually, speaking of the upper and see-through, I was wearing a white sock today with a little red dot on the top of it. And I could see, I looked down at one stage and go, I'm bloody bleeding. I thought so then I go, oh no, it's just a sock. Yeah, so it is very airy, but just, I don't know. The first time I strapped it on, I was in Bowral, and it was like, okay, I'm just going to go out for an easy 6K, and man, it just felt so nice from the day one. So
yeah, they're one of those shoes that I reckon, even like I literally wore my well-worn Trojan pair this morning for a run. They're one of those shoes that even if you've worn them 1,000 times over, you put them on and you still feel like you enjoy running again. Like, I know lots of shoes sort of make you, oh yeah, I'm running, whatever, but like sometimes it just makes it feel a bit easier and a bit fun and all of that. And I reckon this is one of them. So yeah. And this colorway, this green is all late. This is just right up there. So,
mate, I'll give you a Raiders jersey is in the post as well. Then go with it.
Well, that whole range, right? They've got the Mega Blast. I think they've got the Metaspeed Tokyos and Edges. They've got, I think, a Nova Blast too. Like it looks.
Yeah, they got Nova. They got Sonic. Yeah, the whole range.
Big Raiders energy.
So there you go. Number one, Super Blast. Both of us. That's unbelievable.
Nailed it, mate.
Nailed it. Oh, mate. All right, let's get into some beers. Now, I imagine this is going to be quite different with with what you've been drinking this year. So let's get in. Number 5.
I'll lead off the bat. Yeah, I'm happy to lead off the batting with these ones. So, just like the shoes, I had to have beers that I've drunk this year, and so just for those that might be new here, I stopped drinking on the 12th of January until I did my challenge on the 6th of November was the last day of my challenge. So nearly 300 days off the can. So you are going to see some non-alcoholic options. But I think it's just like, whilst I love a beer, I thought I'd share some of the finds throughout the year that are just a good alternative. Like, not every day you want to crack cans. Maybe you do. That's cool. So this one, this hiatus is a 0. A mate brought this to town. We were having a bit of a long lunch thing, and a bunch of mates rocked up and had all these different non-alcoholic options. They knew that I was not drinking, and they were not drinking and stuff. So it's sort of like I'm not a big Stone and Wood guy, but this is like a Stone and Wood, but sort of with a bit more like depth of flavour to it. Anyway, 0. Call me by surprise. Really nice, freezing cold, and just a good change up. So yeah, it comes in number 5.
Excellent. Mountain Goat. I seem to go between a couple of beers, but Mountain Goat is one of those ones where, while not a heap of flavour, it's just the value of the box and just easy drinking. It's just that summer beer where you mow the lawn, you smash a couple. It's really easy to stomach, and it doesn't have some of them probably a bit harsh to drink heaps. That one's just easy drinking.
It's a warrior of the easy drinking beers, the Mountain Goat. Happy days.
Yeah. And then I've got my mate. Fuck you, Tony, mate. He's going to have a crack about this particular beer because he likes all he talks about is the one with the green and yellow one.
Yeah.
So no, fuck that. This is the original.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and they had the best. Oh, fuck. Coming in number 4.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stone and Wood.
Well, go for it, Scotty. Yeah, talk us through.
Yeah, mate. Well, it's funny. It's got a caveat here because if I'm going to the pub, I would definitely have a Stone and Wood on tap. Absolutely love a Stone and Wood on tap. The last time I bought any cans, I can't. I don't know. I can't drink the bottles. It's all about the can. But the last time I had a Stone and Wood can would have been a long time ago. But going to the pub, they're generally going to have Stone and Wood, and that is a go-to. Yeah.
So you just have to take out a second mortgage these days to get a pint of Stone and Wood off the tap, though. But,
right, I was up in Brizzy last year and out at South Bank, and we went. It was AFL Grand Final day, and we went to a pub. Then we went down to South Bank. Oh yeah, I'll shout for 4 pints, $72, $72.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
$18 a pint.
Yeah,
but
it's rude. But like,
yeah,
I do love a Stone and Wood. Now that I can see the can, I reckon I bought a slab of that. We'll probably talk Christmas drinks later, but my approach for Christmas drinks is you got to have like beers that you go to, like your service beers, and then you have like a few nice ones that you can pick from, and you're not going to just sit and drink them necessarily the whole Christmas break. So you might have, I don't know, whatever you go to, Mountain Goat for example, you might have them and the Eskers, the workhorse, they're doing all the heavy lifting, but then you might have a slab or whatever of Stone and Wood and you dabble from a Chrissy lunch, whatever. So I reckon I had a slab of Stone and Woods last year in the Esky, and they very, very good in the can. I'm with you. They in a stubby, they're just not the same. So
no, definitely not.
But I went for, so you can see here I've got the Guinness Zero, which again, cue feedback, welcome. I'm expecting feedback from people who are both Guinness drinkers and alcohol drinkers, because so I must admit I didn't know that Guinness Zero was a thing, and maybe it wasn't until this year. But no, I was entering footy season and love a few beers on a Friday night watching the footy, Saturday night watching the footy, Sunday watching the footy, but particularly on Friday night, that's just, I don't know about you, Scotty, but that's just my safe haven. Footy's on, a couple of beers, and so somebody got me onto Guinness Zero, or one of the boys from work, got me onto Guinness Zero. I went and bought a 4-pack, and then I was like, oh shit, this is pretty good. I like Guinness, like dark beer. Had a couple of beers that night, and then I went and I think the next weekend went and bought a slab of them, and I was like, in my head, I was like, these things are going to last me most of the footy season. I'm only going to have 2 of them, and they'll time over. But they are like up front, they're not the same as Guinness. Like obviously they're not. There's no alcohol, but the first time I had them, like they tasted as close to something else. Like if you're going to drink a zero beer, my personal preference is it doesn't taste like a bucket of flowers, and it doesn't taste like passion fruit soft drink. So it needs to taste like something. And the Guinnesses did that for me. They're also like a 440ml can, so like I might have 2 watching a game of AFL or watching some NRL, like just 2 of them on a Friday, bang, I was pretty much done. So yeah, good option. I actually saw somebody post in the last day or 2 on Insta that there's a place in Queensland that has Guinness Zero on tap now, and I was like, I don't know if I'd walk into the bar and order a Guinness Zero off the tap, just to be brutally honest, like to be self-respecting, but I probably would now that I've said it out loud. But anyway, good drop, good for like that wintry vibe if you're off the cans, and it's a bit bigger, so sort of say you're drinking a whole slab in the night sort of vibe. So
and it's still got the gas thing in there, and you pour it into a glass.
Yeah, you still the whole setup's still the same.
Yeah.
It's pretty good value for money on the zero front. But again, like because it's got that like fullness to it, you don't drink it at the same pace you might, the hiatus, which you could just absolutely guzzle down if you really wanted to.
And you can drink Guinness. Yeah, and you can drink it a little bit. It doesn't have to be ice cold. Like it doesn't matter if it gets a little bit warmer towards the end. Where if I go back, the goat, they do a 440 can too now. Have you seen those? Well, when I say now, they've done it for a while. But the problem is they get warm.
Yeah.
So it's like warm lagers, ales are not very nice.
Yeah, well, Dad and I were having this chat last weekend about the Asahi 500ml cans. Like,
Yeah.
they're a great idea if you absolutely just want to torch them and rip in. But if you're being a bit more casual, the bottom third of your beer is going to be a bit warmer. So you don't need to buy 500ml cans just for the sake of it. Sure, great option if you absolutely want to rip and tear, but if you're just at something a bit more subdued, probably not. But yeah, anyway. So, good cost-effective option, I reckon. Anyway, what's number 3?
Number 3. All right. Oh, both Ben spoke. Oh, look at that.
Hey.
There you go. Oh, what can I say? It's just, again, it's a little bit like when I say the goat, but it's just that little bit more flavour to it. So got a little bit more, still only 1.2, and just got that little bit more punch to it, but easy drinking. Yeah, just one of those. It's a go-to as far as when you can find up here. It's pretty much, it's been only Dan Murphy's, but I notice it just in the last month they've actually started having a Liquorland. Is Liquorland Coles one?
Yeah.
So just Liquorland's, just the local one at Erina has got Ben Spoke in it, so which is pretty cool.
Yeah, nice.
But and I love the detail, like the black little lid on there, black little pull tan. But I know we've discussed it before. I wish they would bring back the full opening cans. But when I was in Canberra, just a little off track there, but I spoke to, I can't think of the lady's name that was at the track that day. Hannah. I spoke to her about it, and she goes, the reason that they don't do it anymore is because you have to peel the whole thing off to drink it, and then you got 2 bits of rubbish. That's the reason they don't do it. I was like, oh, you're kidding me. So,
some direct customer feedback, or direct customer feedback.
Mate, if you can't dispose of it properly, you just bigger problems. Right, just the nanny. We're in the nanny state. Just let me have the big ring pull.
Not only was it the big ring pull, but then you had the wide opening, which is like the real solo quench your thirst vibes. It was a lead.
It was almost like drinking out of the schooner. Because you got your nose in there and you can smell it.
I remember the first time I ever had the full ring top open ones. I think I was at my brother's. From memory, I was at my brother's house years ago, and he bought a slab of them or a couple of slabs, and we were ripping into them. And it felt like, exactly that. You're actually at like an event or a function or whatever, and you're like holding a beer, but it was like this cool hip vibe thing because it was a can. And I remember taking them out west where we had Christmas and stuff, and everyone was like, "What are you drinking?" And I was like. And it was not only was a novelty, everyone wanted to be part of the action. It was so good. So
and I do feel, maybe this is just my theory, but if you have 6 cans at home, or the same amount of beer, 6, it wouldn't be schooners. It's just a bit smaller than schooner. The same amount of beer in a glass. I'm sure it hits you harder. Maybe the oxygen gets into it. I don't know what it is, or you're smelling it as well. It's getting through the nostrils. But,
it's the vibes, mate. It's all about the vibes. When you're drinking out of a pint glass, and there's no scale of economy, right? So I had 6 beers. I just had 3 pints. It's only half the year. So.
What do you, mate? I've just said raspberry beer. Oh dear.
Well, so again, full disclaimer, this is the only beer that has alcohol in my lineup. I am never, like any other year, this honestly would never get a mention, if I'm brutally honest. Maybe it was the fact that I had a year off alcohol, or nearly a year off alcohol, that saw this come into the lineup. But so, context, Ben Spoke released this a week or 2 before the challenge, and then they loaded us up with a few slabs to say thanks and, give out to the people that helped them, whatever. Pardon me. And I tried one after the challenge, and I don't like flavoured beers. Like I like straight down the line, a beer is a beer vibe. And so I was really sus on it. But I must admit, I had two the first time, sitting out the back, just watering the grass and chatting life and whatever. And I said to him, I think I said out loud like 2 or 3 times, "Oh, this is delicious." I had a few with my old man, and even he said the same thing. Oh, it's got like you're gonna taste the beer in it. It doesn't taste like super raspberry, but it is like what I've noticed is the girls like it a lot too. So my mum and Kirsten, my wife, are into it. So it's not a beer. Like if I'm honest, if I use the Christmas example, of like I'm going to go buy my beers for Christmas, what would I buy? I'd probably only have like 2 of these on a given day, maybe at the start, like early on, like have a couple of goats or a couple of leg openers or whatever to get rolling, and then might have 1 or 2 of these just playing an outdoor game or having a bit of fun. But it's just a bit something different. Like it also felt like it's not like you're just drinking the same thing flat out all day. So I probably wouldn't drink many or plenty of them. If I went into the pub, I'd probably, like if I was going to Ben's Boat tomorrow, I'd probably have one off the wood, and then I'd probably move on to a crankshaft or a sprocket or something like that out of the variety, which is like heavier. But I don't know, like I'm traditional down the line beer drinker, but I reckon it's worth a shot. I'm not saying go and buy a slab tomorrow, but I'm saying don't be afraid to throw a bit of flavour into your life. And so anyway, it gets a mention, but I'll probably look back on this in a year and go, "Oh, geez, I had a raspberry beer. really need to grow up." So
it's like a cruiser.
No, it's not like a cruiser. I promise. It actually does taste like a beer. It's the aftertaste that sort of gets into it. Anyway, but it has to be. Sorry, it has to be freezing cold on ice. I would say, had them fridge temperature. They're good fridge, but off ice, elite. Yeah, really good option. So anyway, number 2. What do we got?
Number 2. Ooh, I've had one of those ultra low alcohol hoppy ales. It was a long time ago.
Well, these are like, so these had to get a run, and I played around with where they'd be in the order up and down, but so there's like this scales of economy part that sort of comes into it for it here. But so these, you can buy a slab of these. You used to be able to buy a slab of these of 24 of them for like $40, I think it was, or $36 back in the day. So the first time I ever had these was a couple of years ago doing Ironman training, and just when I think I had 2 or maybe 3 months off the beers, and they were serviceable, did the job, but by pure volume, like these are probably like equivalent to a goat in the sense that like these are the beer you can have in the esky, they do the job, and then you have a few on top to just sort of tide you over the special bits. So yeah, by pure quantity, these had to be probably number 2. A bit like the Mizunos did a lot of heavy lifting through the year, the old ultra low. But they've also been craftified, so they now sell them in a 16 slab, or 16 can slab. So that's even influenced into the non-alcoholic range, and it's still good value for money. But So, what about you, mate? What do you got? 4 points.
4 points. Yeah, it's sort of that. It's a lower percent, but it's one of those ones it just reminds, it's nostalgia. You go to the footy and you're just drinking 4 pints or that. But look, it's a lower percent. I mean, you can't. Well, you can, I suppose, but you can't have 5.5%, 6% every day. So that it's just that lower one. It's really easy drinking, and it just reminds me so much of football. So that's why that got in there. It's probably going to be a little bit lower. It's like, it's good memories on this.
That's the Pacific Ale is delicious. That definitely does remind me of the footy. The one I reckon of theirs that's underrated is, I think it's their pale that comes with like the red label. It's like it tastes a bit heavier. It's like more of a wintry beer. But if you can find that off the tap, it's a very good option off the tap.
Yeah, you don't see it on tap a lot because the big brewers have just taken over, sort of.
Yeah,
Every tap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
Anyway, let's get in. Number one. Prepared one earlier. Fuck you, Tony.
I was nearly I was down the bottle earlier just to earlier this week just to prepare, and I was like, we'll go to Bolton. I was like, I can't steal Scotty Sunday. Any given year when I'm not off the beers, Bolter is definitely my number one beer. So talk us through it, mate. Why is it your favourite, other than just being a legendary?
I don't know. You open it, the first taste is just like, oh, this is unbelievable. Like I absolutely love the taste. And like even last week, like the Shoes and Brews Instagram, it was I want to find another, because this is, it ranges from $61 to $66 a box of 16, right? And I'm thinking, okay, can I find another one that's under that $50 for the 16? So I tried out the Tinnies one last week. It just had this weird aftertaste. It was like, anyway, so it is. But it's been my number one beer for all year by a long, long way. It's a distance to second. But I'll be in a story. I was in Canberra. I'm going to say 6-7 years ago, and I went down. My brother worked in Canberra, and his company sponsored the Raiders, and it was a Thursday night game. Brady goes, "Yeah, come on," and mate, we walk in, and usually I'm not, mate. It's the first time I've ever had Bolter was then, and they're serving Bolter at this all game, and 1.5 standards. It was like the delicious beer, but I got that legless. And from then it became, for a little while it was like, no, that's my loopy beer. Like it just makes me loopy. But mate, now I don't know. It is unreal. I can't get enough of the Bolter. So maybe 2026 might find something else, but no, can't get enough.
Yeah, it easily would be my number one beer. It was one of the first beers. Actually, it was the second beer I had off the wood after the challenge. Just based on where we went, the first one didn't have it on tap, but the second place did. It's just, pardon me, it's just iconic. You know what? You see it, you see the can, you see it poured off the tab. You know it's a Bolter. Just delicious drop. And like, you don't want to be floating around the edges all the time, right? Like when it's 1.5, bang, you're on the dance floor stuff. So I can see why it's loopy, but I'm happy with being loopy all the time if that's your beer. So I'll give you that'll be well and truly flooding the Esky this Christmas. I'll give you a hot tip. So
beautiful. Well, treat my wife. We're going down to my in-laws for Chrissy, and she goes, she's leaving a couple of days early. It's like, all right, well, I'll just order a couple of cases of Bolter for you. It's like, perfect.
Absolutely.
Get them cold.
Well, we were talking about that again over the weekend. It's like, I need to do the final bits of Christmas shopping, bits and bobs and whatever. And I was like, just put the booze order in. Okay, a couple of sides of this, a bit of that. Let's go. No mucking around. Plenty of ice. That's all you need. Don't make it harder than it needs to do. So
no.
Right. I went for
what are yours?
Yeah, so this is a booze-free option, which is probably the first and last time a booze-free option will be number one in my countdown. But like all of that said, like to be honest, I did have a really good year off the cans. Like 300 days off the cans. So there's something to be said for having a break. But Jesus, it's bloody refreshing to be back on it, just mentally, not putting pressure on yourself to be off the beer. So the Ben Spoke Freewheeler. So I've drank this ages ago. Honestly, I reckon I had this. It was a long time ago, and the first time I had it, I didn't really like it. I thought was like it was trying to be something it wasn't. That was my original take. I had one of them and just like moved on with my life. This year, I was trying to like sort of reform my, connection with alcohol and events and bits and pieces. And we had a so for the Bell kind of Magpies, we had a club function at one of the golf clubs nearby, and they had in the fridge. I remember going up to the bar. They had heaps normals. Well, they had one row of heaps normals in the fridge, and they had 2 rows of the Ben Spoke. And I was like, yeah, give us a Ben Spoke because like heaps normals are up, but it just doesn't really do much for me. And I remember by the end of the night, I went to the fridge. When I went back to the bar, sorry, I'd only had maybe 3 of them, but pretty much all the freewheelers were gone. I was like, who's drinking all these bloody freewheelers at the golf club? So turned out a bunch of the younger boys were into them. But like to my point earlier with the Guinness is you actually taste, again, it's not a beer, but it tastes like you're actually drinking something. Pardon me, it doesn't taste like a packet of passion fruit lollies or a solo or whatever. Like it tastes similar, or like the act of drinking, like picking up your drink and having a sip and putting it down, and like the process of actually drinking, you feel like you're actually having a drink. So this is more like an IPA version, which again, like if you had a 4-pack of these on a Friday night watching the footy, like happy days, wake up guilt free, anxiety free, a little bit more cash in the pocket, but it's a good change up option. Like even if I, speaking openly, even if I was having a big day on the cans and you wanted to have a break or a change up in between, like you could still keep the beer flavor going with this and not have a, one of the hiatuses or whatever from earlier. So yeah, it's just a good option. I think it tastes like a beer. It is what it says on the box. Like it's not trying to be anything that it's not. Like it's not trying to sell you some artificial crap that is not like a beer. So I think you can get a 4-pack for like a pretty good price considering 0 alcohol, or nearly 0 alcohol, I should say. But yeah, if I was putting an alcoholic beer in here, it'd definitely be a Bolter. I think it's hard to beat. The other one that's very unlucky to miss out for me is Crankshaft. Like that, I know it's been voted by Australia as, and I'm not just saying this because Ben Spoke have supported obviously my challenge and stuff throughout the year, but that beer is one you're having a drink. And again, maybe it's the fact that I had nearly 300 days off the cans, that having a few of those again, I was like, oh boy, I'm really back on the dance floor now. So, so it's it's been a good year.
Crankshafts is good beer. If I go, my Ben Spoke, like I like a Crankshaft, but that Barley Griffin is just something that's just I go to because it's just that easy drinker.
Yeah, like the Crankshaft's 1.7 in a can. If you had it, I won't say what I was going to say. If you forced me into a decision, I would actually say my favorite from the whole Ben Spoke range is the Sprocket, but it's like 2.1 standards per can, and it's one of those drinks where if you have one at the brew pub, it's like, oh yeah, you really know you're drinking a beer, and you like it does what it says on the box. Like it's real heavy. I remember drinking, I think about 6 of them one night. I was like, holy smokes! Like I've got 2 dance floors going here. But yeah, so there's lots. So the thing is, like, I was sort of thinking, oh, what's my top 5 beers? And originally I was going to just put some of the ones that I've had since the challenge in, but I've had way more non-alcoholic options to throw in there. And I think it's sort of just like a bit refreshing to go, yeah, we're obviously shooters and brews, and we love having beers, and we love talking shooters and good things in life. It's like, oh, actually, there's some pretty good options out there if you want to have a break, or even if you're like, I don't know, after the Chrissy and New Year period, you want to have a couple of weeks off or whatever. You've got plenty of okay options, comparable. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's that was fun anyway. We gone through our shoes, our beers, and I think with all of them is what I've certainly with the shoes I've worn them all, and as you alluded to, it's something you've worn, and there's other shoes out there, but that's what I've worn, and that's what my best ones. And the beers is another good one. So it was good fun.
Yeah, loved it, mate. So happy to do this. do this again next year and see what the differences are.
Yeah. That's might be a few. Bolter might be sitting at the top again.
Oh, mate. Well, they might roll something new out, and there you go.
Yeah, mate, could do. There's a lot of breweries popping up all the time. So, yeah. So, what have you got? I mean, I was just thinking off the top of the head. So, what's your Christmas look like this year?
Chrissy, yep. So, well, historically, we used to do with my mum's side of the family. We used to do a big thing at the start of December. We'd all go away to Coffs Harbour where my grandparents used to live and have a sort of getaway that way. We since moving back to Canberra, we've got this part of the family that live in Sydney and we're in Canberra. We've been catching up every so often in Bowral, halfway in between, which has been really nice. Like not only for me to catch up with my cousins my age, but for our kids to all hang out. So that was a big reason why we wanted to move back. And so this year, a bunch of the crew are coming to Canberra for Christmas Eve. So we've got Christmas Eve at our house, which is going to be super fun and super crazy and a bit of chaos, but like absolutely love that. So where we live, there's a whole bunch of like really, really good streets around that do great lights, like 2 streets over. Every house decks it out, and people just sort of walk around with their beach card and beers, and it's just good vibes. So, so Christmas Eve at our house, a bunch of food and drinks and stuff, and then Christmas Day at my folks, just around the corner, which will be nice. And then we're going to head out west into the heat of Dubbo for a couple of days, where the in-laws families are, or in-laws families is, and float around the pool, drink a lot of beers. Pardon me, if they're listening, I reckon that is the busiest Dan Murphy's in Australia by an absolute country mile.
Dubbo.
I don't know how many trucks they get rolling into that joint, but holy smokes, it is a busy joint. So we're going to do that, and then a couple of days back at home, and I'm heading up to. I got a ticket to day 3 of the Sydney test, so up for the Jane McGrath, the pink test day. So, but otherwise, then I'm on dad duty. Well, not on dad duties. I'm lucky to be dad duties through the start of January before I go back to work. So, looking forward to it. Lots of cricket, lots of beers, lots of looking at the grass grow, watching the kids play, all the fun stuff. So. How about you, mate? What are you going on?
We're just going down to the in-laws, and might just be a cruisy day. Play golf for a couple of days before Chrissy, and might just cruise. They've got a creek that runs out. So in Jervis Bay, there's a creek that on high tide, it's like this bluey turquoise color. And you walk up the creek and you hop in and you just float down. It's
lovely,
and the water just looks ridiculous. So it's always good fun to do that. But But speaking to your wife during your challenge, and most of my family's out in Dubbo. Some of the hottest Christmases ever were in Dubbo. That place is ridiculous.
Yeah, any danger of a tree, like seriously, it's I always have the best. I don't probably like lots of people. Best intentions. We go back there. Well, we used to live in Melbourne, and so we'd either go to Canberra or Dubbo first. And either way, they're both bloody hot at this time of year. But we get to Dubbo and be like, best intentions, be drinking beers and in the pool and stuff all the afternoon, all night. Yeah, gonna get up and go for a run. Get up, and it's like if you don't go at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, it's like 38 degrees. It's not 38 degrees, but it's very hot, and there's just no escape. There's no shade. It's absolute stinking. So so
I reckon the last Christmas I was there, I was about 20. And so my brother would have been 18, and it was 30. I'm going to get the numbers wrong. It was like 37 degrees at 8 a.m.
Yeah, makes sense.
And he just beer, My cousins just look at us like, what the hell is going on here? It was too hot. I think that's about it really. So pretty cruisy. But then when I say cruisy, straight back in and a stupid busy month at work. So I'll see everyone
getting
at
ready
Feb.
Everyone's getting ready to go back to school then.
Yeah, so everyone, you guys enjoy your holidays, all right?
Well, it's been I was just going to say, it's been nice to, like, this year, like, have this in my life. It was sort of a little bit unexpected, but a lovely surprise that came along when JB connected you and I, Scotty, because sometimes you don't know what you don't have or don't want until you have it, sort of thing. And then it's just been a really nice outlet to have a chat, talk some shit, have a few beers, talk shoes, etc. But also just like, obviously reflecting on the challenge and you coming down and meeting in person and all that stuff. Like, community is a choice. Like, that's the been shared. I heard that somebody shared that a couple of weeks ago, and this really resonated, especially with everything going on at the moment. But like, you choose to show up for your community, and like, people choose to show up to be part of your community, and that means lots of different things for other people. But unlike work, where you have to work to earn money and stuff, you rock up for your community, whether it's your running community or people you go and have a beer with, or just general people in your life. So it's been really nice for this year anyway, for me to like get to know you, and obviously hopefully a few other people reaching out and talking about this and giving a bit of life and a bit of laugh. So thanks, mate. I really really loved it.
Mate, so have I. It's been fun learning new things and having some beers, talking shit. That's right. It's what it's all about. But look, we've got the shoe for next month, which will be the New Balance 1080 version 15. It's a big update. It's arrives mid-January, so might get a few cheeky pairs early and try to but we'll have a special guest as well for the next one. So I think that's about it. But look, everyone, stay safe over this Christmas period. Take your time getting to wherever you need to go. It's not a race. Have some beers, go for some runs, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Love you all.
Merry Christmas.
Shoes on deck, beer on ice, laced up clean, the vibe feels nice. Fuck you, Tony, said we wouldn't fly, now we running this.